This is a pretty popular spot here. It's a bit quieter now. That drone is 50 odd metres. I've been up along this road. It's pretty good. Look how it winds its way up along there. What I might do is give you a little bit closer look at those rocks. They call that the rock forest around here. So there you go. We'll swing into that side of it there. Let's have a look a little bit further into it. And you're not allowed in there, it's private property. So in this place here, I don't know, if you got caught there they'd probably call the coppers, so it's hard to say. We'll go back to just normal lens. So that's it there. So what I think we might do, what are we in? We're in normal mode. I'll bring it down a little bit for you. About there. And we'll go for a run. So the drone's on its way now. And we'll just see how it performs up along there. So I am now travelling at about 50 kilometres an hour in normal mode. It's a nice sharp picture. I've got a new remote control screen and it certainly looks the part. Let's have a look a little bit further up. The best thing about drones is that you can be riding along or on your bike and that, and you've got no idea what's on either side of the road. But once you get the drone out and you start looking around, I'll swing over to me right now. I'll just pan over that way. Look at that for a view. That's a beauty, isn't it? Anyway, back the way we're going. Pretty dense scrub in there too, so you wouldn't want to go down in there. But all these places along here have got signs up, no trespassing, so there's not much you can do in that line. So in other words, you can't go in there. So we'll swing back along and find the road. There's the road there. And there's also some good rock formations in this section here. Bit of a signal problem, so I'll take it up to around about say 400 feet is maximum I can do. Now, the best thing about here, when you're looking at it, say for example that rock formation there, if I want to hit it 3 power, go into the bigger lens, look at that. Just hard to believe how good that lens is. And you can get there and have a good look at things. I want to go see that big boulder there. If I want to go a little bit closer, look at that. If I want to go closer still. So it gives you an idea. So this is how good the lens is on this particular Air 3S by DJI. I'm on 9 power now, so if I go back to normal lens, look at that. Can't complain about that. So how far am I out now? 1.2 kilometres. So what we might do is I don't think there's much more I can show you here. I might just let me see. Might just give it a pan around for you. Look how green it is out here. So we've had a really wet winter around here. The countryside's good, and I'm not so sure for how long, but at the moment pretty good. You can see the road I come in on just there in the tree line, probably just from the top. But overall, really nice countryside out here. And then you'll see my home there now. So that's where I am. So what I'll do now, I'll press return to home, and we'll see how she comes in for a land.
Return to home.
The only trouble about on the return to home mode, you've got to listen to that beeping all the time. But everywhere you look around here now, it's so beautiful out here. Like, won't be like that for long. You know, give it a couple of months, and it won't be anything to get too excited about. It'll be all dried out again. But at the moment, it's looking good. And it's a really nice afternoon here at 22 degrees. The only trouble, if anything, well, the flies out at the moment. So that bit aside, rarely I get out here and I'm annoyed by flies, but today, quite a lot of them. So when it's on the return side, I can still toggle down and work the gimbal there. So that's what you're seeing there now as it's coming in. But I don't think I can do much more. I don't think I can turn it. No, it won't turn. It'll only just do that toggle of the gimbal coming in. It's a nice little road there, isn't it? Doesn't go up very far, probably around about 3 or 4 kilometres, and that's about it. So that drone will be coming into play here shortly, and it'll come right back on the auto return to home and land almost, you could say, where it took off from. So I'm not going to go that far with it, but overall, it's really very nice country out here. I can hear it now. Can't see it yet, but it's 100 metres away. Oh yeah, there it is. Coming right up above me now, so it'll see me when it points the gimbal down. It'll just swing it down shortly, and it'll point towards me. There. Coming down. I'm on a 2025 model Xmax scooter. These are the scooter weighs in around about 180 kilos, so they're not light, they're almost equal in weight compared to say an Enfield. But the best thing about it, they put out 28 horsepower. So that 28 horsepower on this bike is enough to propel you along with a top speed roughly 140, 145 kilometres an hour, or you could say pretty close to 90 mile an hour in the old days. Some people say that they can get 90 mile an hour or better out of them, but I don't know. I'm just taking it easy. All I know, going along now at 85 kilometres an hour, it's just no effort at all for this particular scooter. Now, I've had several of them before. In actual fact, this is my 5th one. I bought my first one in 2021, and naturally new. This one's a nice looking colour. It's a burnt orange, and overall it's a nice bike to ride. Now if you ask what's the difference between a 21 model and a 25, not a great deal. There may be a little bit of variation in the plastics, but the main thing that this one would have over the earlier models would be the dash has been revised. So the old analogue dash is no longer on these scooters, so it's all digital. And they've improved this 25 model by where the previous model had a double digit screen. This one's just got the single screen, and it's also fitted now with a power windscreen. So that's all you're getting. And this one is Euro 5 compliance. Now, I don't know whether that means much. It seems to run pretty well. It's got a nice smooth throttle, so there's no jerkiness like in some of the newer bikes. So it's a big credit to Yamaha that they've been able to you know, smooth out the throttle on some of them, and unlike some of the other manufacturers, example Honda and you know, dare I say a CF motor, they had an extremely rough jerky throttle on them. But this one here, the throttle feed on is really nice and smooth. There's no hiccups, no nothing like that. It's just a smooth bike to get on and ride, and if you want to give it to it, look at that, it'll take off alright, and that's only a slight movement on the throttle. So overall, a good little package to be on. And the under-seat storage is good too. I've got something like 45 litres of under-seat storage, so that's enough to cart me backpack with the drones. And look at this big pothole on the road up here. I'll have to swing out a little bit to get past that one. But on the safety side, this one comes with dual channel ABS. It also comes with traction control. And over the years riding the Xmax scooters, I've had the chance to engage the traction, and you can sort of feel the back wheel skip at times, you know, when you're behind it. I'll tell you what, seeing we're not used to any hot weather around here, that sun's got a bit of bite in it. This isn't a good road at the best of times because it's on the back road to a place called Bathurst, and if you're familiar with the Bathurst 1000 races. I'm only about 50 k's from there, and over to me right there a big herd of goats. So there's a lot of those bleeders running around the paddock. But overall, it's a really nice little scooter, very nimble. Even though it weighs in at 180, it's still pretty nimble as far as swinging it around from side to side. Leans over really nicely. The only thing I don't like, just coming up now, is about 100 metres of really bad road here with a lot of potholes, patches. I really don't know why they haven't come along here. It's worse on the other side. If they haven't come along there and try to improve that up a bit. In other words, resurface it. The power windscreen, I think, for this particular bike is more like the days when I had the Honda Forza, and I think it's more of a gimmick. And you know, I wouldn't say it works all that well, but some people like the idea of having it with power. The brakes aren't too bad, but like I said, only 300 kilometres on the bike, so I can't get it. A really good idea how well those anchors perform, but from previous experience on scooters, the brakes aren't as good as what's on a Honda Forza, but the overall riding experience I think is better than the Honda Forza. So I don't know about the previous Forzas, I can only speak about the Forza 350, but that's the only one I can compare it with because that's the one I had. So overall, we are ready to, no cars coming, give it to it. But if you have never ridden a scooter before, you know, you might be knocked off by it and say, oh no, I wouldn't have one of those. But after you get used to the old twist and go experience, I think you'll find that it's a pretty good, relaxing ride, and you can clock up quite a few kilometres. The ride on scooters is a lot worse than what's on motorbikes, and I think that's got a lot to do with how the motor hangs down below the, you know, lower part of the thing, the framework here. But what I've been doing lately is, since I bought this one, I'd had previous ones and put YSS shocks on it, which I found, to me, only my opinion here, I found them as a bit of a waste of money. So what I bought, well, I didn't buy it, I found it a few days back. I had a air hawk comfort seat, and I put that on it, and believe it or not, I can handle these bumps quite good with that, and got it virtually put back on for nothing, where you can spend $600, $700, $800 on a set of shocks, and it's hard to say whether you'll get any better benefit than what that air hawk seat will do. Now the secret of the air hawk seat is, one, don't put too much air in it. So if you've got one and you fill it up with air, it'll be just like rolling around on marbles. But if you're easy on it, you know, it does a really good job. So overall, we're coming into the later part of the day now. It's pushing 4:30 or so. So you're almost coming into kangaroo territory. I was out yesterday and bumped into one or two wallabies just on the side of the road. So, you know, you got to keep your wits about it and be ready to go for those anchors. But after all, Australia's got a huge population of roos, wallabies, and a lot, quite a lot of other things that can cause you grief. Now I think I've pulled up now 350 kilometres. I'm on the last bar of my tank, and the dealer filled me the tank before I picked it up. So I left with a full tank, so far 350. Virtually all that's been out in the road running, because I very rarely run bikes. If I got a choice, I'll very rarely ride them around town. So overall, I don't know, with the bar, it's not flashing yet. I think fuel range on a, I think it's a 13 litre tank. So far I'd reckon I'd get 400 k's. I know I'll get about 375 while I'll be walking home. So that's one way to look at it. I'll just slow it down through this pine forest area, then I go out in a bit more open road country. But the scooters are really good how they, you know, you can just lean them around, they run around the corners well, riding positions comfortable. The only thing it is that it really needs a handbrake, which I've ordered a piece and I'll fit it to it once it arrives, because naturally scooters, when you put them on the side stand, if there's any incline or decline, whichever way you're going, probably decline, put them on the wrong way, the scooter can roll off. So you're better off with a, I don't know whether they don't make it standard, a handbrake on all scooters, but we'll just push her up to 100 and I'm going into the wind at the moment. So there you go, easy 100, no effort, just a slight roll on and you're in business. So overall, like I said, good day to be out on the scooter. I think I'm averaging, well, I'm averaging about 2.8 to 3 litres per 100 kilometres so far by the looks of it. And a lot of that's been riding under pretty windy conditions too. I had this bike out, or scooter I should say, out yesterday under windy conditions, and believe it or not, it was a real terror. It was the windiest day I've ever been out on a bike, and it was blowing it around from one side of the lane to the other. Not a pleasant ride at all. So whether or not a motorbike would have been any better, it's hard to say. I'm not complaining that the bike wouldn't go, you know, hold speed. It had no trouble pushing through the wind at 100 k's an hour, but I was getting side gusts, and I think they call it a level 4 wind, and it was throwing it or blowing it all over the place. Now I thought it would have handled a 180 kilo bike, would have handled it a bit better. I think the end wheel would have at 200 kilos or 195, but that bit aside, I have actually been out on Enfield 500s and it's been windy and I've turned around and come back home, so I can't single out this bike as the main culprit. But overall, a nice ride. I hope to clock up a few Ks on this. Yeah, you can feel the brakes working fairly well now, so they're coming along all right. There's just some rough sections on this road and you have to be a little bit careful. So it's got plenty of riding aids, like I said earlier, dual channel ABS, traction control, it's got GPS navigation in it too, music, takes phone calls, reads the paper for you, does everything. So, you know, it'll do everything you want, and I think overall a good set of wheels. Here's a bloke on his way around the back road. He could have been easy rider. What about if he was one of those that wanted to ride with Warro? Can't see that happening, but you know, you never know. So my advice to you, if you've ever had the inclination to wonder what it's really like to ride a scooter, and you said which would you start from, unless you're doing a lot of round town running, probably a 150cc would be the one you'd go for there. But if you're going to do a bit of open road running like myself, well, definitely a 300 or better. Yeah, so I think 300cc's is a magic number if you want to do a little bit of out town running too, because with that 28 horsepower on tap, it gives you plenty of room to pull the hills, no trouble whatsoever. As you can see, on this trip we've come back, I've been running along a lot of hills and it handles it no trouble whatsoever. So we're back to an 80 zone now for a more relaxed ride. On a motorcycle, so an actual motorcycle, and you've got a bad riding bike, and you're wondering how you can improve it without spending large amounts of money on suspension, I would highly recommend giving one of these Airhawk seats a bit of a run, and they'll only cost you about 150. And if you don't want to go genuine, you can swing back to copies on eBay and get them for $30 or $50, and you can go from there. And the secret to it is don't put too much air in it. So I'm really riding on a very thin film of air, and it does a really good job. Yes, I've had this seat now for about 8 years, and I used it the first time, wasn't happy with it, and never used it again. But things have changed since then, and just out of the blue I went looking for it to see if it had run all right on this, and believe it or not, it's really good. My mistake in the early days was putting too much air in it, so if you do that, it just bounces around and throws you off the seat, and it's probably like riding a bloody bucking bronco. But if you handle it properly and just drop it down to more like just one good mouthful of air or less, half, and if you become more interested, I can show you roughly what this Airhawk seat of mine, if you're interested, I could put a clip together and show you roughly how much air is in it. You know, it's not going to totally smooth out the ride, you know, it doesn't produce miracles, but it does do a very good job of what it does compared to if you've got one that you see bumps coming up and you get off the seat. And this one will make it a lot easier and more relaxing ride for you, and you'll be lucky and get away with a lot less jolts than that what you normally would get for not much money at all. So I think that's, from my point of view, that's the plus side of it. And this is a really bad road I'm riding on too. It's a rough bloody road, this one. So overall, you know, once you're out on better road, it just rides really, really good. Another thing about vibration on these Xmax 300, you get a slight bit, and only a slight bit through the handlebar, because I can feel a little bit, but not a threatening type of vibration, just a slight buzz there. And through the foot pegs, or should I say the floorboards, nothing there at all really. So overall, you know, it's not a bad ride. This windscreen, if you want to know, like I said, I wouldn't say it was the greatest thing that ever come along for this particular bike. It should have been 3 or 4 inches higher, but what I will say, if you ever get one of these and you're under the sweet spot, so I'm 5'9", and about 82 to 85 kilos, depending on how things are going. But if you buy one of these and you wonder what the sweet spot is for the windscreen, it's put it right up in the top setting and then drop it 2 inches. Yeah guys, so that's about all I can tell you about this today. So far so good. I'm enjoying the ride out on the Xmax 300. And it's a good ride to be on.